Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and I'm here with my husband, Noel. He is back there running our cameras and doing our graphics. Hello, Reclaim Vintage. Tonight, we are going to talk about bundles, discounts, and reporting your revenue correctly. Hello, Southern Charm. Josie's Junk in the Trunk Mercantile. Hello, hello. So this morning we talked about increasing your average order value, and this is kind of the continuation. This is the tax side of it. How do we account for all of our revenue properly? So we're going to go into it. We're really talking about accounting for the revenue and what we're calling discounts, which is basically coupons. But we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you some real life examples and some real numbers based on coupon usage that I do, how that translates into, how do you dissect that? How do you find out if it's worth it for you? So things like that. That's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to get started. I am going to be running giveaways throughout. Our giveaways are our normal CEO affirmation cards, and we'll do a few of those throughout the show. If you guys have questions, please, it's always so much better if you throw questions in the chat instead of just hearing me ramble on and on. So feel free to ask any question at any time on any tax accounting topic or about what we're talking about. It doesn't matter. I'm totally cool with it. So let's start. I'm going to get all these words off of the screen first of all, because they always bother me. Okay, so bundles, discounts, and reporting correctly. This sounds like a really heavy accounting topic, but it's not really super heavy accounting. It's more about how you think about your money and how you understand your revenue. So just kind of hang in there for a second as we get into it. We're not really talking math and numbers. We're really talking about understanding the money that's coming into your business and properly recording that money, and then accounting for discounts, which we're going to just change the word discounts and call them coupons, because that's what they are on Whatnot. We're talking coupons, your rewards. How do we account for that in the whole scheme of things? So when we think about how much money we're making, most sellers fall into one of two things that they do. They either way overestimate their earnings because they don't take into consideration coupons or their giveaways, or they way underestimate their earnings because they'll just do more of an estimation, kind of go by a gut feeling versus actually having true numbers. So what we want to do is work with our actual true numbers that we're having. And I know you're like, oh, that sounds pretty easy. I know how much money I make, but let's go through an example or two and we'll really see if we're all on point. So we're going to understand how you're really looking at your revenue. Let me ask really quick from everybody who's here. You don't have to say, you don't have to put it in the chat because it's a confidential number, but just a yes or a no. Do you know what your average revenue is on Whatnot? Can you just like that off the top of your head say, I make X number of dollars a month on Whatnot? Is that a yes or a no for you? I know mine, but I'm a accounting geek, so it makes sense that I would know mine. I would hope that you guys know yours. If you don't, yes, 0 Josie's. I would hope that you guys know it. That's part of it. You should be able to say, hey, I make X number of dollars a month. The next thing is, once you know that, do you know how much that you're giving away in coupons or your rewards? Who here uses coupons or does the Whatnot reward system? Throw an emoji in there. Throw whatever your emoji is in there if you use either coupons or the reward system. I'm trying to learn before. Oh, well, that's great. Southern Charm does. Josie. So we've got a couple people. All right, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. So let's start with gross versus net matters. So the difference between gross and net. So gross is the total amount paid by the buyer. When they win something, that is that total amount. The auction ends, they win that bid for $20, $20 is your gross. So let's just use an example. If they bought 4 items out of your bid, each item was $25, the gross is $100. That's easy. I think we all know that. Then we get down to the net. The net comes in after we deduct platform fees, that's our 8%, after our 30-cent transaction fee, after our 2.9 processing fee, after any coupons, and after any shipping adjustments we've paid. Then it's net. All of a sudden, it's sounding like, whoa, that gross sounds pretty good, but that net doesn't sound too good, right? So that's the difference between gross and net. And it really does matter in how we record stuff. So let's say you sold those 4 items out of your bin, $25 a piece. Your gross is $100, but after platform fees, all those things I just named, you actually get $82. What would you say you made on that sale? $100 or $82? So it's Lisa says 82. Southern Charm says 100. So the actual answer for this is you actually made $100. Your revenue was $100. All those other things that got deducted to get down to the $82, that was what, the $18, the difference, those are expenses. You had revenue of $100 and $18 of expenses. Why does this matter? Because one, when you're recording your revenue, you should be recording the right number, tax purposes. For your tax return, you can't put $82. Who's going to get that giveaway? Wow, it's like flashing. Wildflower Bliss, congratulations, you got that giveaway. So for tax reasons, you can't be putting the $82 because then you're underestimating. You're not reporting your true revenue to the IRS. Also, that $82 will never match the $10.99 that Whatnot gives you because Whatnot knows your revenue was $100. The other parts of it, fees, shipping, the coupons, those are all expenses that come off of that $100. So why does this matter? Why is that so important to understand the difference there? It's because the relationship between that revenue, that $100 and that $18 expense allows you to determine your profitability. I can't even talk today. It's Leah. I think I called you Lisa earlier. I'm so sorry. I am actually, every Friday night, we're going to be doing these for the rest of the year. So if you go to the get notified for, let's see, let me pin it on this here. If you click on that, there should be a full schedule of all of these shows and every topic I'll be talking about every Friday morning and Friday night. And my husband's reminding me, we always do multicast to YouTube. So it's always on YouTube. You can go back and see the ones that I've done before too. Okay. So understanding that relationship between that revenue and that expense helps you to understand your profitability at the end of the day. Are you a profitable business or are you not? So let's take a look at 2 different sellers here just to get an idea on kind of how does this work, right? So you have seller A. Don't care what they sell. They made $10,000, but they had $2,000 in expense. So their net at the end of the day was $8,000. Sounds pretty good, right? All of us would take $8,000, I'm sure. But then we have seller B. Seller B made $8,000, but they had $500 of expense. So they ended up with a net of $7,500. Here's the difference between the 2 sellers. Would you rather be the seller that got $8,000 or the seller that got $7,500? So do you want A, $8,000 or B, $7,500? Which one would you want to be? $8K. You are right. And actually, no, sorry. It's not the $8K. What I want to point out here is the person who only made $7,500 actually made more profit than the person who made $8,000. And this is why. Seller A, my husband's telling me to use the iPad. Let me show you how this works. I'm actually going to write some numbers down so you can actually see this instead of just hearing the numbers. Oh, can I unplug it? I can unplug it. Okay. Let me mirror my iPad so you can actually see this. Give me 1 second here. What's the name of that program I'm looking for, my love? There we go. All right. And we want to get a new one, and we're going to sync here. All right. We're going to switch this over here, and we're going to show you actually why seller B is a more profitable seller than seller A, even though at the end of the day they have less money. So let's do. Uh-oh. It went away. I got a mirror again. My fault. All right. Let's see. Are we coming back? Technical difficulties. We're getting there. All right. Maybe. There we go. So we're talking about seller A. Seller A made revenue of $10,000, but they had expenses of $2,000. So they net $8,000 in total. Okay. But this is 20%. Their expenses cost them 20%. All right. So this means their margin was 80% margin. Seller B, let me move this up here so you can see. Let's look at seller B, made less money because they made revenue of $8,000. They had expenses of $500. Their net was $7,500. Their expenses was 6.25%. Their margin was, I'm just rounding, 93%. So we'll say this was 7 just to round it, 93%. So you can see here, seller B actually made more money in margin at the end of the day than seller A. So just because we have a bigger number doesn't always mean we're more profitable in our business. So this is one of the reasons why understanding the relationship between expense, yeah, we can turn that off, thank you. Understanding the relationship between expense and revenue helps you understand with your business on if you're profitable or not. What that expense is telling you, that $2,000 or that $500, is how much did it cost you to earn the money that you earned. So this is a way we want to look at it as businesses. We want to say, how much money did I have to spend on transaction fees, processing fees, coupons, in order to earn that money that I ultimately, buyers ultimately paid me. And then we look at the profitability. So once we get that profitability, now we're going to start talking about our discounts. When I say discounts, I'm going to try to change that word just to say coupons because it makes it easier. On Whatnot, that's the language we use. Coupons, rewards, same thing, right? So coupons are one of the most probably misunderstood parts of live selling, and especially when it comes to talking about our revenue and understanding if we're giving coupons, how does that affect our revenue, and is it worth it? Is there a trade-off there? So for the coupons that we are giving, are we getting enough return on that investment that we're making in those coupons? A lot of sellers will hand out coupons and they never really measure like how much they're giving away. Who here can tell me this year, you don't have to give the number, just a yes or a no, how much they had in coupon spend this year? How much did their buyers use their coupons this year? I'm not seeing anything. So this is an important thing. If you're using rewards or you're using coupons, at the end of the day, about $5 a show, perfect. So then you can multiply that and you can get a roundabout estimate. As a customer, and coupons are I'm a full believer in coupons. I have a whole reward system that I use based on coupons. And actually, I'm going to dig into it and kind of use that as an example as we go through. But buyers like them, they're a good incentive, but they cost us something as sellers, right? And we need to know that money that we're spending in those coupons, is it worth it at the end of the day? Are we getting enough back? Let me give you a bad example where it wouldn't be worth it. So I'm going to go to the extreme and show you the bad example, and then we'll talk about when it is worth it. So let's just imagine you're doing your show, a buyer buys an item for $20 and they use a $5 off coupon. Okay. So at the end of the day, you get $15. Your revenue was $20 and then your coupon was $5. So your revenue is still that 20. Okay. We're back at the same example. Our revenue is what we sold it for and our coupon is $5. Now, if we dig into that a little bit here, I just totally lost my place in the notes. Oh man, what did I do? Totally lost my place. Okay, we're going to keep going. That's fine. We're going to get there. I'll get there and show you the bad example in a minute. Completely just lost my place. So in the moment when we're talking about those coupons, like Southern Charm said, oh, they use about $5 a show. Yeah, I'm fired. I messed up my notes. I'm okay. They use about $5 a show. That feels pretty small, right? It feels pretty insignificant. Have you ever taken the time to add that up for the full year? For so far, we're what, just about the end of this month or 5 months into this year. So if Southern Charm, if you say, oh, they're about $5 a show and you do one show a week, so that's about 20 shows. So 20 times 5 is what, about $100 in coupons? So you've spent about $100. So the question then becomes, did that $100 generate more than that in revenue coming back to you because of the use of that coupon? So that's what we're looking at. Is it worth it? Are these coupons worth it? In the moments they feel small, hello, how are you, Sammy? In the moments they feel small, 5% here, $2 here, $1 there, they are so worth it. They are. I'm going to use my actual numbers to tell you why coupons are worth it. But you should also be doing the math for yourself. Like everybody should be doing their own math to make sure that your coupon, your Whatnot rewards. Here's the thing. Whatnot's like, hey, you guys, we have this great reward system. Go sign up for it. And we're like, oh, yeah, this is going to get people to stay in my show. It's going to get people to buy more. And for the most part, it does. I think it's really great. But have you ever stopped and said, exactly how much is this costing me? And is it doing the job that I want it to do? I used to use the Whatnot rewards and ended up creating my own rewards because the Whatnot rewards wasn't doing the job I needed it to do for me. And I needed to create something that would do that job a little bit better. It cost a friend of yours all her profits. There you go. So if she had understood the relationship between that revenue and that expense to generate that revenue, she may have done it a little bit differently. So that's what we're really digging into today. So I want to talk, we're going to walk through my coupons here, and I'm going to use my actual real numbers to kind of give you a really good idea on how this works. So I have, where did I put them? Right here. They're here somewhere. I use, hold on, I'm getting them. I got them buried. I use rewards cards. They look like this. These are basically the coupons I give to all of my customers. Each card is worth $2. There's a code on the back, and that code is worth $2 on every single one of these cards. However, if you take 3 consecutive cards, like number 1, 2, and 3, and you put those codes together, that's worth $6. And then in every show, like today, if you click on the show notes, there's going to be 3 other codes that you put them together, and you can save anywhere from $5 to $8. So if I look at my codes, I do 9 new cards every single quarter. When I add that up, I add all the $2 off they can save, all the $4 off, all the $5, all the $8. I add all the various combinations that I know I'm going to offer this year. I am actually giving out, one person could save $1,576 over the course of a year. So Southern Charm, who's a really great customer of mine, probably has cards 1 through 18 already. If she goes on and collects all 36 of the cards that we're going to put out, she will be able to save $1,576 with me. So, and she does, look at, she has all 18. So now my question, can you bundle those savings? Well, kind of. My question then is, okay, Tracy, if Southern Charm is going to use all of these cards, is the money she's going to spend with you going to be enough to be worth allowing her to save $1,500 this year? So how do I figure that out? And let's keep this in mind. That's one person. I give out 100 of each of those cards. So ultimately, throughout the course of the year, I'm giving out $157,000 in free money through the use of rewards cards, through use of coupons. Here's the beauty of coupons. Everybody gets them and they're like, oh, that was so sweet. It's instantly a goodwill feeling for your buyer. And for you, a lot of people are going to say, a lot of sellers are like, I can't afford to do that. Didn't you hear this? When the rewards came out, you hear sellers going, I can't afford to give coupons like that. The little secret on coupons, most people don't use them. So you get the benefit as a seller of, one, looking good by giving them, creating that goodwill. Hello, Crafting with Chris. And then two, the benefit that they're not using them the way that you would think they would. Go ahead, my love.
And some people lose the cards. Right?
They lose them,
discounts.
they misplace them, yes. So I want to tell you, 2% redemption rate. You are pretty darn close there, Sylvia. I looked at my redemption rate for this 5 months of this year so far, since I've been doing those rewards cards. My redemption rate is 1.81%. So let's round it up to that 2%. Sylvia is spot on. 2% redemption rate. So if I look at $1,500 that I'm giving out, and only 2% of that's even going to be redeemed on average, right? So coupons are well worth it. I know who's using them too, Monster Mama, but I'm happy when people use them. Even so, with all the use for all the cards that I have given out so far, coupons hate to see you coming, only 2% has been redeemed. So think about that. How often do you guys actually give coupons? Is this we had 2 people already say, yeah, that's part of my business model. Have you thought about it like that? Have you thought about, wow, I can give all these coupons, but people probably aren't going to use them. I don't have any fear that people are going to come and redeem $157,000 worth of coupons to get free stuff from me. That's not going to happen. But I can give out that many coupons confidently knowing that, right? So do you know, really quick, where do you find how much your customers redeem their coupons? Do you know where to go for that? I'm going to give you a little pop quiz here. There is only one place that actually shows the exact dollar amount redeemed in your coupons on a per show basis. Okay, 2 places. You can dig into your ledger. It's messy. I don't quite like the ledger. The cleanest, easiest place is that summary email you get after every single show. That is the easiest place to get this information. So after you end every show, you get an email from Whatnot that says what the total items sold, total giveaways, total revenue, and total coupons. That is the easiest place to quickly jot down that number every time you get that. Jot down your revenue, jot down your coupons. Those are 2 numbers that you should be logging in to your records, your financial records, after every single show. Easiest way by far. You can. Southern Charm was correct, so there is more than just one way. Totally correct in saying ledger, probably in the marketing screen somewhere, but you got to dig and dig and dig, and it becomes really hard to find. So let's keep moving on. I'm going to tell you more about the coupons. We're going to kind of dig into the ROI on coupons in just a little bit. But I do want to talk about when you're recording this, because I just made a big point about you should always record that gross revenue and the coupons if you're using them. Because again, the amount you made, if you make a $20 sale and they redeem a $5 coupon, you didn't make $15. You made $20 and had a $5 expense. That's a really significant thing for your accounting records. Okay. And when we look at our accounting records, we want to be consistent in the way that we're recording that. So if, January comes and you're like, okay, I'm going to use my Whatnot summary emails to record my revenue, and you're doing great in January. But then in February, you're like, I'm going to switch over to Ledger. I'm going to use a Ledger. And then in March, you're like, I'm just going to go by feel. I think I made about $600. And then in April, you're like, no, I'm going to get back on track and I'm going to use these reports. In 4 months' time, you've used 4 different things to try to record your revenue. Some of it may be right, some of it may be close, but there's no way that you're going to be able to compare any of those numbers together. So we want to go back to making sure that we pick one consistent way to always record it. And that's why I point out the Whatnot summary emails, because it's so easy. It is just the absolute easiest way. You get that email, you can quickly jot down or type into your accounting system your revenue and your coupons. So your revenue, your gross is the money you earned, and then your coupons is your expense that comes off of that. And then later on with the monthly reports, you can add in the shipping, the 8%, the 2.9, like all the fees and everything else that's in there. I want to give you an example on why this is so important. Pretend that you're trying to lose weight. Common, a lot of people like to go through ups and downs and try to lose weight, right? If 1 month, January, Hey, custom wood burning, you record your weight loss in pounds. Hey, I lost 6 pounds this month. And then in February, you're like, I feel I lost about 5 pounds. And then in March, you decide you're going to go to kilograms, figure it out in kilos. Then in April, you don't weigh yourself at all. Are you really going to be able to have a good tracking of how much weight you lost? Probably not. You're going to be 4 months into this and be like, I have no idea how much weight I lost. The same thing comes with your revenue. If you're not recording it consistently in the same manner month after month, you're not going to be able to understand that relationship between the revenue and the expense that we talked about at the beginning. And that's what's so important here. Thank you. So pick a system to record your revenue and your coupons, and stick with it every month, every quarter, every year. Pick one, stick with it over and over again. Is there any part of tracking revenue that feels confusing to anybody? If there is, I want to address it and try to make it not confusing. So let me know if there's anything you're like, I'm still just not sure what I'm doing when I'm recording my revenue. Feel free, if you're not shy about it, it's okay to put it in there. I want to talk about another reason why this is so important. And I mentioned it very quickly a little while ago, but I'm going to say it again. Let me do a giveaway while we're talking. Whatnot is going to give you a 1099 at the end of the year. What our goal as a good business owner should be is to be able to take all of this revenue that we have recorded on a regular basis. We get all of our emails from Whatnot, all of our summary emails, we record our revenue. We should be able to take that and add it up, and our number match what Whatnot has at the end of the year. So that, hold on, you guys. Y'all, is it just me? Or when your spouse sits next to you and chomps on Doritos, does that drive you absolutely insane? Because I just had to give my husband the death stare because he's over there chomping on Doritos while I'm trying to do a chat show. There you go, behind the scenes of Zoe's Treasures. The love, I can feel all this love going on. Okay, back to the real topic here. If we're recording our revenue correctly, then at the end of the year when Whatnot gives us our 1099, where's your chips? Then those two numbers should match. But at the very beginning of the show, I asked a question. I said, if you made $100 in sales, and then we took out $18 for the fees, the coupons, everything else, and you ended up with $82, how much money did you make? The answer was $100. A lot of people are going to say 82. If you're recording the $82, your numbers are never going to match Whatnot's. If you're doing that, at the end of the year, you're going to say, oh, I made $40,000, and Whatnot's going to say, excuse me, you made $53,000, and you're going to be like, no, I didn't, when really you did, because the difference between those is the expense. And just to recap, that's when after that, we talked about how to match that expense to understand your profitability. So clear tracking, doing this consistently, helps you in your taxes, helps you in your decision making on your profit margins, on which revenue streams are the most profitable, helps you understand your pricing, because if your profit margins aren't high enough, then we go into, okay, well, how do we increase our profit margin? So it helps you understand your pricing and ultimately leads to your growth. So it's not just about, hey, you need to do this because it's a good thing to do. It really affects your business all the way through. So what do you need to track? I told you, let's make it super, super simple. Use that Whatnot email. That's going to give you your gross sales and your coupons right off the bat. That's 2 things knocked out, super simple. Then the other things you should be tracking on a regular basis surrounding revenue, your fees, that's your 8.8%, 2.9%, and your 30 cents. You can get that off your monthly report. On the 4th of every month, Whatnot will summarize that in a nice little report for you under your financial section. Your shipping expense, it's on that same report, or that monthly report, and then any refunds. So all of those things, gross sales, coupons, fees, shipping, and refunds, are things you should be tracking around revenue to really understand what your revenue is. Are Whatnot coupons included on the Whatnot summary spreadsheet? They are not. So Glam Goblin, what we are talking about is the easiest, most convenient place to get your coupon spend, to understand how much coupons your customers are redeeming, is in the summary email that comes after every show. That is the clearest, easiest way to get that information. What Southern Charm pointed out, you can go to your ledger, you can dig around in your ledger, but that's going to take some digging. And even me as a CPA, I'm like, that's too much work for me. I'm just going to take that Whatnot email and jot it down. So if you've been doing coupons and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know I was supposed to be tracking this. All you need to do is open up your email and go back through and look for the Whatnot summary emails and write it all down, add it up really quick, and you'll have your numbers for the year. So it's a super easy way to get that information. I want to go in and I want to actually talk. You feel like doing taxes might be tricky. It's not really as tricky as you think. If you're on a regular basis keeping track of your financial information, as you should as a business owner, and you don't even need to track a lot, you just need to track a few things on a regular basis. All it is at the end of the year, you're accumulating that information into a report. Thank you so much for your purchase from the bin. If you're purchasing anything that is PDF, DM, send us a DM real quick and my husband will talk to you and get it over to you right away. He's back there doing it right now. So
what she tried to say was, if you're making any purchases of any electronic assets, do me a favor, check your DM.
A monster mama, congratulations.
I'll be sending you a message.
So if you're tracking your revenue, like we just talked about, revenue, fees, shipping, coupons, you're tracking that. Tracking all the expenses, any other money that you spend when you buy boxes, when you buy bubble wrap, when you pay for Vendoo or pay for Spotify or any of that, you're tracking all of that, and you're tracking your inventory. Those are the three big things that you need to keep track of. As long as you're doing that, and it doesn't have to be fancy, it can be as simple as a notebook and a pen, and you're writing it down, then you'll be ready for taxes at the end of the year. Are you going to have fancy reports and all of that? Probably not, but at least you're going to have your stuff in order, and you're going to be far ahead of most sellers on this app who don't track anything. So I want to give you, I finally found where I was trying to find it earlier. I want to give you a bad example of coupon use, so then we can talk about a good example. Let's say you offer 20% coupons. That's pretty high, but let's just say you're in a really generous mood and you want to give a 20% coupon. So for a whole month, you offer 20% coupons and you're like, man, people are buying, this is great. But at the end of the month, you look at your revenue and your revenue only increased by 5%. What does that mean? That means that your margin decreased by 15%. You actually lost money. So this was like the example where Sammy earlier said that she had a friend who lost a lot of money because they were giving away more in coupons than it was generating in income. Their expenses, how much they were spending to generate income was too much. So that's not a good strategy. So what is a good strategy? So let's take a look at where I'm at. I'm going to give you my actual numbers so you can kind of see how I look at it and how I figure out the strategy on whether my coupons are working or not. So I already told you all of these coupon codes I give out for the first 5 months. We're going to look at where my stats are in the first 5 months, and is it worth my while to give out all these coupons? Okay. So we already established the fact that I have a 2% redemption rate. So 2% of all the coupons that I give out, 2% of the total revenue is redeemed. They use in coupons. Still haven't used a coupon. You gotta use them. Overall, in the past 5 months, I've been giving these out since January 1st. I started a couple of days before January 1st. I'm being stopped, y'all. Why am I being stopped? So I've been giving these out since January 1st, okay? 2% of everything I've given out hundreds of these already, has been redeemed. But since January 1st, my revenue has increased by 6%. So what does that tell me? that tells me that I have a 4% net increase. So my coupon cards are helping to generate a 4% increase in my overall revenue for my business. That's a good example, right? I see an increase in my revenue because people have coupons, they come and spend it, and I make more money. So, totally just lost my train of thought. When you're looking at your coupons, how do you figure that out for yourself? Don't you think the revenue increase isn't due to you trying to? It could be. Part of the revenue, it's not just all coupons, but I have to look at my coupons and say, if I'm using coupons, is the revenue I'm getting in return enough to cover the cost of those coupons? Because if I'm in a negative, if my coupons are costing me 10%, but my revenue is only increasing 3 or 4%, I better do something else. I can't be giving out those coupons. So at the end of the day, my revenue increase has to be greater than my coupon redemption rate, or it's not going to be worth it for me. It shouldn't be, because it's just a sign of losing money. Now, absolutely, I've been super hyper focused on my average order value and increasing my average order value. So that 100% does play into it and helps with this. But it gets to a point, you have to take the numbers you have to work with to see if your coupons are working or not. You can almost do nothing and still increase your average order value. You can just be around on the app long enough and you start to gain some traction. So there's come some time where those variables, they kind of even out. I do want to tell you how I figured those numbers out, so that if you're looking to figure it out on yourself, you can figure this out on your own stuff. So I looked at my 2025 revenue, and I took my annual, everything I made from Whatnot in 2025, divided it by 12 to get an average monthly amount. How much on average did I make for each month in 2025? And then I looked at 2026, and I looked at the first 5 months of 2026, and I did the same thing. I have 5 months of income, divided it by 5 to get my average monthly amount for 2026. The difference between that is how I got my average revenue increase from an average amount in 2025 to 2026. That's at 6%. I hope that makes sense. When you guys are thinking about your coupons, I want to go back to the one example that we did at the very beginning of seller A made $10,000 and had $2,000 in expense. Their profit margin was 80%. Seller B made $8,000, had $500 in expense, and their net was $7,500, but they had a 93% profit margin. They had a lower net gain, a lower net amount. They made less sales, but they had a higher profit margin. And that's important to understand the relationship between the expense, the money we're spending in order to generate that revenue. Part of the money we spend in order to generate revenue is coupons. So that's a whole lot of words, y'all. I need a drink of water. We're going to run another giveaway. So to kind of sum all of that up in as much of a compact way, water and chips. Oh my gosh, y'all, with the chips, he was driving me nuts. To sum that up in a compact way, using the coupons are wonderful business tools if we're accounting for them properly. But they ultimately do affect the revenue, and we need to understand that relationship to make sure that we're getting enough ROI on that.
Leah, now you're talking my language.
Which at the end of the day comes to making good business decisions. I Love Discounts. You are going to institute your own rewards system. Is that still something you're considering? And do you have a method where you're going to be tracking if that's profitable to you? Just out of curiosity. Still in the works and using Excel spreadsheets. Girl after my own heart right there. So what we really want to be focusing on every time we start thinking about how much money we spend in order to generate other money, you can apply the same concept to giveaways. How much am I spending in giveaways in order to hopefully generate people staying in my room, generate revenue? So you can use the same type of math to see the ROI, but we want to think about how much revenue did we generate? What did it cost us? And what can we learn from those numbers? So how much money do I have? How much did I have to spend in order to make that money? And what is those relationship between the two tell me? Does it tell me I should continue doing what I'm doing? Should I stop? Should I change it? Does it need to be tweaked somewhere along the way to make it work better? And that's like a whole lot of words in like 39 minutes, y'all. I just like blew right through it. So I'm curious if you guys feel that your coupon use is worth it. Southern Charm said yes. Southern Charm is like, yep, I think I'm all about my either rewards or my coupons I'm giving out. What about the rest of you? I did Mo. I did me. I love discounts. Forgotten Memories is yes. I did not feel the Whatnot reward system was working for us. Me neither. I totally agree that I did not feel the Whatnot reward system was working. I didn't like rewarding somebody just for watching the show. I wanted to reward for purchases. Here's the thing that I tried one coupon. I made it for your mod's birthday. Well, that's sweet. That is a really great way to thank and honor your mods. I love that. No more free shipping though. Is it taking a break? Forgotten Memories. Interesting. That's interesting. So now if you're not doing free shipping, are you going more towards a coupon system? Has anybody from hearing about coupons like, no, I really want to try to use coupons more? Anybody want to use more coupons? Maybe not. I go back. The numbers don't lie. 4 max, same amount of coupons. I just want to try coupons. I like your $2 idea. And here's something. Some people get confused with how to use them. They absolutely do. So Tabitha, knowing that as a seller, we need to be prepared for that and explain why. That's something that I often forget. I just assume, oh, people know how to put the code in the wallet, but they don't. So that's good advice. Maybe putting in show notes. That's something for me to take note of, is putting it in show notes. Just a quick question. What is the workbook about? If you were talking about these workbooks, if you're talking about these ones, number 58, I'm not sure what, or 5B, I'm not sure what that is. Hold on. These workbooks go with the Friday chats. So it says Q2, but you would get Q1 and Q2 if you were to purchase the physical workbooks or the PDFs. And basically, every workbook, what they have is they have a business page and a tax page. So they have Friday morning, all the topics we cover, Friday night, all the tax topics. And then there's some CEO, more in-depth, how to think about these topics and how do they apply them to your business. So those are the workbooks that we offer. They go along with our Friday chats. We have 2 quarters out. Third quarter's coming in about 2 weeks. And then the fourth quarter will be out soon too. The Vintage Gypsy Bree, congratulations. That's what our workbooks are for. We call it a coupon, but to redeem it, it's called a promo in our wallet. That is very confusing, Tabitha. They should keep all of the terminology together. Carolina, I'm confused. Butter cheese dish. Do I have that in my bin? Do I have a butter cheese dish in my bin? I don't. Sometimes I do. Oh, maybe in my marketplace? Because I don't see it in my bin. It must be in my marketplace, which I can't get to at the moment because, well, I probably could on my phone. Do you have a question about it? If I can figure out which one it is, I can try to grab it and show you. Oh, for tomorrow's show. Absolutely. You're going to buy it. Everything that we have for tomorrow's show is actually behind me. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Hold on. Is this the one that you're looking at? This little cutie pie? So this is up for tomorrow. It is a little butter cheese dish. Adorable. I think it's Princess House, but I'm not 100%, but I kind of think it is. And then inside we have a little porcelain teacup and a little porcelain saucer down in there. It comes out. Isn't that adorable? You could put anything you want in there, but that is up for pre-bids for tomorrow's show. Yeah, I think it's adorable. You can put you don't have to put your butter. You can put any kind of little miniature in there, like a Wade or something would be cute. And tip, you guys can always do your max bid, and then even if you can't go to the show, you still have a chance of winning it. I like the glass bowl at the Tippy Top show tomorrow. Yep, everything behind me is for pre-bid for tomorrow. The one up there at the top is a double-headed swan. It's a crystal bowl. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. I'll grab it down real quick. This is, let's see if I can get it in my camera. I'm not used to doing it like this. There you go. Look at how beautiful it is. You have your frosted swan heads. This is crystal. Hear that gorgeous little chime going on? All of that's listed for tomorrow morning show. And a ton of butter pats. If you guys are looking for butter pats, I know totally off topic. We're not talking about revenue anymore, but I got a ton of butter pats in tomorrow's show too. So I've been saving up. Isn't it gorgeous? I really, that's a hard one to part with because it is really pretty. What were we talking about before that? Yeah, tomorrow's 5:30 already. Can you believe it? We're already into June. We're halfway through this year, you guys. Here is a good time. Halfway through the year, we're talking about coupons. Thank you. Halfway through the year, I need people to keep me on track, especially after a long day. Yeah, it's Friday night, y'all. Is a perfect time to stop and reevaluate where you are. Are you halfway to your goals? What's your annual goal? Are you halfway there? How much money have you made in the first 5 months? So start looking at that. Now is a perfect time. Going back to coupons. There is a new coupon. They just introduced recently. I don't know how recent. I found it about a month ago, but it is new to Whatnot. So you have new to me. So you've never bought from me before. New to Whatnot. I am not ready to close on the Whatnot house yet. And just a general everybody coupon.
Forgotten memories. There's a house 2 doors down.
There is in our neighborhood a house that's like, there's us, our neighbor, and then a house for sale. Do you know how convenient that would be to have that be our Whatnot house? Just to walk like 2 houses down to our Whatnot house every day? That would be so amazing. It's a little out of our price range for a Whatnot house though. So he's looking at me. I think it's out of our price range. It would be nice. It's like it's like a 4-bedroom house with a basement. I mean, it would be a great investment property.
I would consider it. It's really nice.
I'm thinking something a little bit smaller for a Whatnot house, not quite a 4-bedroom. He's over there. I want a house. So anyways, if you guys have any coupon questions, feel free to ask. I have used them since almost day one on Whatnot. Pretty regularly I've been doing coupons.
Something tells me I'll be the only one making the offer.
So he could buy me a Whatnot house. I'm totally cool with that. It could be an investment for my daughter. It could be. We'll get there eventually. So I told you guys we have the master plan. I am very conservative in the fact that I'm not going to enter into an agreement like that. I'm not going to purchase something that's $300,000-$400,000 without knowing that I absolutely can pay that money. I mean, could I pay for it based on doing my 9-to-5 job? I could. Do I want to? Not really. So I need to know that I'm generating enough business income to afford it easily with no problem. So in order to get there, I need to add on another show or two. I'm already starting to put stuff in place. We've got our shipper, my daughter's shipping. If you've noticed on my Monday and Wednesday morning shows, for those of you who come to those on a regular basis, I've started increasing the amount of items that I'm auctioning. I've gone from 10 to 15, and the items are starting to get a little bit bigger. little bit nicer items. So I'm starting to up the quality, up the quantity. So it's all like a master plan. It's little by little by little, all very strategic, that we will get there to the point where hopefully by the end of this year, I can say, you know what? I have safely generated enough revenue that I feel I can easily afford the Whatnot house without it hurting me. The 2 new Whatnot coupons feature is a glitch. I just used the everyone feature. The new to Whatnot coupon feature is a glitch? Really? I don't think I've had anybody redeem it yet. I've been using it to try to entice people from YouTube to come into my shows. So far, nobody has done that one yet. So let me check my notes. I have never purchased on Whatnot before. I have a join us for $5. What is a threshold for a business versus hobby income? Stay home to shop. That is a great question. And it's basically $400. So there's not really a threshold from business to hobby. There are 9 factors that the IRS looks at to determine if you are a business or you are a hobby. And it's really not even income. It's more so your intent to make income that determines if you're a business or a hobby. If you schedule shows, that shows an intent to make income. If you buy inventory and you curate a show, if you do a show and then revise it to make it better for next time to make more money, that all shows intent. That's business intent that pushes you towards the business side. Now, at the end of the day, IRS says if you make $400, you need to be throwing it on a tax return. So it's really, you would be very, very hard pressed to do more than one Whatnot show and convince the IRS that it's not a business. You would be very hard pressed to be able to do that, because just the fact that you've signed up to be a seller shows intent to try to make money. And that's really where it comes down to, is intent, not necessarily the dollar threshold. I know probably one of the thoughts that you maybe have heard in the past is, well, if you take a certain loss over, a loss over 3 years, then you can't be, what do they say? You can't be a business, or you're automatically a hobby or something like that. That's not really the rule. It's kind of like a misconstrued piece of one of the 9 factors. So, none free on I Love Discounts. You haven't got anybody to come over from YouTube yet either? We're trying. I Love Discounts. Can I give away your YouTube secret? Because I think that's the most amazing secret ever. And it's not going to be a secret after I blast it all over Whatnot. You're afraid to lose your disability. So your self-employment, all right, thank you. Your self-employment income from Whatnot acts no different than if you went and got a job. So if you know that you can go to work at Walmart or Target and make a certain dollar amount and still keep your disability, that same rule applies to Whatnot and your self-employment income. So that's all you've got to understand is speak to whoever helps you set up all the disability stuff and figure out where that income limit is, and then make sure you're not selling above that so that you don't affect your disability. You don't know what your secret is. So you guys, here's a secret that I Love Discounts told me, and they've obviously forgotten, but I'm going to remind them. We multicast to YouTube. Does anybody else here multicast your shows to YouTube? Throw something in the chat if you do it. I don't know the limit off the top of my head neither, but you could probably Google it and get a pretty good idea on what it is. I don't know it off the top of my head. If I throw a number out there, I'm probably going to be wrong. So if you multicast to YouTube, I Love Discounts has found success in the title of their Whatnot show. For us, the title of the show isn't super important in the algorithm for Whatnot algorithm. But at the end of your Whatnot show, if you put in something specific, like they sell jewelry, so they may put in, some cutesy name, jewelry, antique, or vintage brooches. The optimization at the end helps you on the YouTube side. So maybe it'll do nothing for you on the Whatnot side, but helps you get more views on the YouTube side, which I thought was pretty cool. Because we're actually starting to try some of that from learning it from them. You're working on multicasting? Some kind of Southern. Is our inventory considered a liability? That may be a silly. It's not silly. No, not at all. So when you buy inventory, it's actually an asset, which is the complete opposite of a liability. So all you're doing when you buy inventory is you're taking your cash and you're trading your cash for a physical item. It's an asset. So it's just something you own. It doesn't even become an expense for your tax purposes until you sell the item. And then that's when it becomes an expense. You do need an iPhone to multicast. Is that correct? Am I correct on that? Yes. I'm being told, yeah, you do need an iPhone or a computer. Or if you're running, yeah, you can run off a computer and multicast. Fun fact, on Ship Happen Show, 70% of the people that find the show on YouTube find it from the word whatnot. Interesting. I can't multicast until I have enough views on Facebook and YouTube. Hold on. I'm going to have my husband answer that because there's some misconception around there because I don't have a lot of people on mine.
So, Callie, you're correct on Facebook. You have to have, I believe, up to
like 50 or something?
I think it's 100 followers. The YouTube, on the other hand, you do not need to have any followers. The only thing that you need to do is you can't really you can't use your phone to broadcast. So it's a little different. The way it works is Whatnot is going to send the stream for you. So it's like using a streaming device instead of your phone. YouTube requirements for you to be able to stream through your phone is 50 followers at least, or subscribers.
So Stay Home to Shop says there's a back way to screen share on YouTube using an Android instead of using the multicast feature built in for the iPhones. That's super interesting. I don't use an Android, so I know zero about that. But if you use an Android, I would suggest reaching out to Stay Home to Shop because maybe they can help you if you're looking at multicasting. Not something I can help with. It keeps giving you an error when you use your laptop. Callie, you can reach out to my husband, Zoe's Team Mod. He'll put his name in there. He's always happy to help try to troubleshoot tech stuff. So reach out to him. He'll try to help. He'll get on like a FaceTime call with you and try to like troubleshoot it and see if he can help you get it all set up. All right, I'm going to run one more giveaway and then we're going to go rate somebody. Let's do one more giveaway. Any other coupon questions? Just remember the main thing about today is your gross is what you record for revenue. Your coupons is actually an expense. So you're not recording, if you do $20 sale, $5 coupon, you're not recording $15. You're recording $20 is the actual revenue that you've earned, which is the revenue that you're supposed to report on your tax return, the revenue you should be using to make decisions in your business, and the revenue that's going to match up to your 1099 from Whatnot at the end of the year. And that's where a lot of people, that's kind of the main point. That's where a lot of people go wrong. So just understanding that helps you make better decisions and know the difference between the expense and the revenue. So any other questions? We've got 4 minutes, you guys. We're going to hang out for 4 minutes. I'm just going to sit here and be like, I don't know what to talk about for 4 minutes. Is anybody here doesn't do coupons, but you're like, maybe I should try. Maybe this is enough to convince me. How can you get more people in your show? I love discounts. I'm going to tell you, but you're not going to like the answer. Do I like chips or what's my favorite snack? I do not like chips. I do not like people eating chips next to me. It drives me absolutely insane. My favorite snack, I don't really have a favorite snack. Sorry if you have answered this before. I bought the workbook. Should I also buy the live selling guides? Can you explain what those are? The live selling guides are these two. The live selling guides are these ones. So I don't remember. I'm sorry. If you bought the Ledger to Leadership is the accounting workbook. And then these are the live selling guides. So these are the ones that go along with my Friday talk. So the morning business and tonight's tax. These are the live selling guides, the workbooks. Then the other one I have, I actually think I took it out, is the Ledger to Leadership. I think I took that out because I'm done with those classes. So no, you wouldn't have to, Ash and Gold. The answer to your question then is no. I was doing accounting courses every Monday night, but we just finished those up. I am doing, though, you guys, I have 3 workshops coming up, totally free on Whatnot. Don't need to buy anything. You can just attend it. So in August, I have like a fast start guide to Whatnot. We're going to talk about just being new to Whatnot, everything you need to know. We're going to spend 4 weeks talking about live selling, techniques for live selling, tech. So we're going to go through four weeks of, hey, I'm just starting on Whatnot. What do I need to know? In November, we are doing a year-end tax prep. So for 4 weeks, every Monday night in November, we're going to talk about let's get ready for tax season. What do you need to do? And we're going to break it down into nice, manageable chunks each week so that you will be totally ready for taxes. And then in December, we are doing a 2027 business planning. So for 4 weeks, we're going to look at different areas of your business and get ready for 2027 and plan how you're going to grow and expand and be wonderful and awesome in 2027. So those are some stuff that's coming up pretty soon. Are you bringing snacks? I Love Discounts. You guys, I Love Discounts is on their way here. Well, they will be. They are going to be here on Monday. So I have to clean my house. I gotta go change the sheets on the guest bed and clean stuff and dust and do all that good stuff so that I don't look like a slob when they get here. You're bringing 3 cases of chips. I'm going to move out for the week. I'm not going to be able to stay here with everybody eating chips in my house. I'm just not.
I'll put that offer on the house next door.
We were sitting here before the show. He was sitting there. He's literally 5 feet from me, and he's just chomping on his Doritos, putting his hand in the bag, grabbing his Doritos, and I'm like, the sound of the bag, the sound of him chomping on the chips, I'm like, I'm going to scream. I'm sitting here like this. I had to go upstairs. I'm like, I'll come down right before the show starts. Yep, you have to. See, we just need to buy the house 2 houses down that people can come and stay. That's it. It just needs to be like an extra guest house. So.
It's a 3-bedroom.
Oh, it's a 3-bedroom, not a 4-bedroom. Okay. Anyways, we have 19 seconds on that giveaway. I'm going to pull it right now. Let's see who's going to get this final giveaway tonight. The Chips House. That's what we're going to call it. We'll call it Fill It With Chips. Oh my gosh, I can never go there. Jump on Doritos. You know what's the worst? Takis. Takis are the worst chips. Okay, it is so bad. There's an actual disorder. I have some disorder. There's an actual thing that the hearing, there's a name for it. Southern Charm, you got that giveaway.
Congratulations.
And when my kids were little, there were cereals that never ever come through the door of my house. Like Captain Crunch is not allowed in my house.
I Love Discounts. The basement is not finished.
Uh-oh. So it's a whole thing, and it's my husband. It drives him crazy because I'm like, nope, can't eat that by me. But with that, oh, the spoons. Oh my gosh, Southern Charm, you are so right. Spoons scraping a bowl, when he eats soup and there's going like this. Yeah, I can't. All those noises. Anybody else? I know Southern Charm. You said you have some of the same things. People smacking gum. Don't smack gum near me neither. I'll say something. Teeth on utensils. Oh my gosh, that's why God gave you lips. God gave you lips so you don't need to drag your teeth across your fork. I sleep with earplugs, but I love Jessica says, yep, see, don't drag your teeth against your fork. We all have our things, right? Now you know way more than you ever needed to know about me. No chewing with the mouth open. No, not at all. My kids, I would just give them the look at the dinner table and they would know. So my son says I'm better now than when they were little, but I don't think so. Because if you ask the one kid who's still at home, she thinks I'm terrible still. So
you don't need to
are you the
ask
same
kid.
way? Oh, you teach 5th grade and they are the worst. Oh, I bet that would be so hard. Yep, Southern Charm. Nope, don't do that. Or you know what the other thing is gross for? The other thing I think is totally gross. People do this, and it grosses me out. My husband does this. I used to have a boss that did this too. Is cutting fingernails at your desk. You don't cut your. Let's go raid. We're about to raid. You don't cut your fingernails at your desk. You got to do that in the bathroom. That's a bathroom thing. You can't do it anywhere but the bathroom. But I used to have a boss that would do it. Totally gross. So before I gross you out anymore. No. Oh, Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for your purchase from the bin. I'm like totally spacing out, which I shouldn't be. I should be more in tune with what's going on. But we are going to go raid because I'm just talking about things that gross me out, which I'm sure nobody wants to hear. So we're going to go raid. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Next Friday, what are we talking about next Friday? I could tell you. Let's see. Deep conversations. I know this is like, we start on revenue and we go to this stuff. Next Friday is week 23. We are talking about using business losses strategically. So next Friday night, we're going to talk about using business losses strategically. There is a way to have business losses and have it be beneficial to you. So that's what we're going to talk about. And then next Friday morning, we're going to be talking about staying motivated during slower weeks. So, which that happens to all of us at certain times. And with that, we're going to go raid. Thank you all for hanging out with me. You guys have a great night. I love discounts. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days. And for those of you who are in Battle of the best of luck. I'm going to be in there bidding on your stuff. So good luck on Sunday. And ducks in the chat. Let's see. Who's on? We rated TBC Productions the other. Ooh, let's go to Sugar Hill. No, you know what, you guys? We're going to go see Mel and Stella Cards. We have to go see Mel. She has turned so many people into card collectors that we got to go see her.
I'll send your emails here shortly.
Bye, everybody.